Hi guys. Hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday night. I'm so pumped for this weekend and I'm starting to get pumped for the next couple weekends. It's so close to Christmas. That means that my weekends are starting to get busier and parties are kicking in and it's just fun. It's fun all around. As you can see this way, I have my tree in the background and I have about 3 or 4 decorations set up, and that's pretty much as far as I go for Christmas, but we're getting there. We're slowly building year by year, getting more decorations. This is my second year with a tree, by the way. Anyways, welcome to, this is our final meal prep series episode. Unless you guys want us to talk about anything else, just pop it in the comments. Next week is pretty much open for live episodes, so we can do something. If there's something we've missed that you want to learn more about, let us know, and we might be able to get on that. And then we gotta put the meal prepping aside for a little while because there are other things to discuss when it comes to weight loss and nutrition. So last week, if you've been following our meal prepping series, then you tuned in last week and Myrna was talking about condiments. This week I'm going to be talking about spices, because spices are awesome, and adding spices to your life will drastically improve the way you cook and the way you look at food, because they add so much flavor and they're so good for you. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jenny. I am a registered holistic nutritionist and the co-founder of the naughtynutritionist.com. And if you don't know the Naughty Nutritionist very well yet, we focus on weight loss and nutrition strategies for people who love food, people who have been on the diet train for way too long and are looking to get off of it, and for people who are looking for sustainable weight loss solutions. So that's what we're all about. You can visit our website if you want to learn more about us. There's a lot of information there. For the meantime, let's talk about spices. So why? Why add spices to your life aside from taste and flavor? Spices are amazing for your health and especially your digestive system. In Ayurvedic medicine, they say that spices have either warming or cooling properties, and both have an effect on you. And with Ayurveda, I don't know if you guys follow that at all. It's like, it's a different method to nutrition, but it's pretty interesting the way they approach food and nutrition and health. And for me, for example, I run really, really, really cold, especially in the winter months. So every single day I add some sort of spice to my life and it warms me up. It makes my metabolism go a little bit faster, makes me move a little bit more faster, and it gives me a little bit more energy. And that's just the way I work, and I connect to the Ayurvedic approach. It is to each his own, but I can just tell you a little bit why. And there is some scientific research behind spices. So there is something to be said about adding spices to your life for the whole metabolism benefits. Cinnamon is a great one. Cinnamon is said to help stabilize blood sugars. So if you have an issue with overeating sugar, cinnamon, try adding a little bit of cinnamon here or there. Turmeric, there's been a lot of hype about turmeric as being an anti-inflammatory spice. I'm sure that you have heard this. There's some science that says it needs to be better supported, needs to be tested in large doses, and then there's some science that's saying, yeah, it's great. So our take on it is that adding turmeric to your life with food is going to benefit, because every single food affects the body. So having turmeric in stews or soups or smoothies or whatever, if you're adding it to your life that way, we definitely would recommend that, of course. But like any spice, that's what we recommend. Cayenne. So cayenne is actually one of those spices that they have done a lot of research on, and it's showing to be one of those spices that's really, really awesome for your metabolism. It has thermogenic properties, so it actually heats up your body, and when your body heats up, your metabolism also heats up in a sense. And people who were in these studies with the cayenne pepper, taking cayenne every day, they actually reported that they had less craving towards fatty foods. So this is a very promising study, adding cayenne. It's also antioxidant, which is really cool. There's another added benefit there. And then the last one I wanted to talk about was salt, which I'm going to dip into kind of what you shouldn't be buying, or I shouldn't say shouldn't be buying because that's not really what we like to say. You shouldn't do anything, but things that you can have less of in your life, or that you can avoid, or just keep an eye on when you're looking at the ingredients. And sodium is one of those things that we have just way too much of, especially if we have a highly processed diet. Sodium is in everything. Salt preserves food, so they put salt in most prepackaged foods. If you pick up a can of Campbell's soup, sorry to bully Campbell's for a minute, but if you pick up a can of Campbell's soup, you'll see just how much sodium is in that soup. So sodium is something we really have to watch out for. They say 1,500 milligrams a day is like the upper limit of how much sodium you should be having. And if you have one can of soup, I think there's maybe around 600 milligrams, so that's already half of your sodium intake. And then it's everywhere, so it's also like in deli meats, there's a lot of sodium there. Any prepackaged spices that you buy, there's usually added salt, pickles, like jarred stuff. It's just everywhere. So sodium is one thing that you're gonna want to watch. And speaking of that, I just want to start, aside from the health benefits, I just want to kick this off by talking about the things that maybe you should just be keeping an eye on. And luckily for me, I have some, for the old El Paso lovers, you might hate on me right now, but the fajita mix, the taco mix, those kits, and this is Ben's, and we do have fajita nights. I make my own fajita mix, and he just loves this stuff, so what can you do? So we have a lot of it in our house. I don't touch it, but it's just one of those things that I said to myself a while ago, why am I using this when I can just make it myself? It takes 15 seconds to make your own fajita mix, and it's way healthier. You're getting less sodium, you're getting real spices, you're not getting any processed ingredients or ingredients that you don't want in your body, and you're not getting the sugar. Or if you are getting the sugar, if you're adding sugar to your fajita mix, it's cane sugar, coconut sugar, or more of a whole food source. So this is just one example of something that you can make yourself, and it's really, really simple. And I did post a article on, we have an article up on spices, and it's 4 homemade spice mixes. You can find it on our feed. It's right there underneath this video, and it's just really simple. Like, you just need this. You need the individual spices, and then you need measuring utensils, and then you're not getting the maltodextrin, which is just another way to say sugar. Then spices. So spice is another ingredient, and that's also another way to say MSG, because spices it's tricky marketing, right? You got hydrogenated soybean oil, citric acid, caramel color, yeast extract, silicone dioxide. So there's a bunch of things in these pre-packed mixes that you just can keep an eye on. Now, if you go to your health food section in the grocery store, you can find pre-made spices that don't contain all of the nasties, and they contain just the straight spices. These are much better things to buy. And I'm going to show you what I do buy, because I don't make everything from scratch, because who has time for that? So Garam Masala is the bomb, especially in the winter months when you want to add some spice to your life. If you like Indian food, if you like that style of food, which we've been making chicken tikka on a regular. So this, along with like 6 or 7 other Indian spices, are mixed into that, but it's a really simple recipe. And you can add this to potatoes, you can add it to eggs, you can add it to salad dressings, you can roast veggies with it. It's awesome if you like that type of spice. If you don't, something you could do to build your spice tolerance, because I didn't start off, like when I first moved to Toronto, I didn't start off just liking these types of food, because I came from Sarnia, Ontario, where we have pubs and nobody really goes out, or I didn't go out for Indian food, curries, and even sushi. I had to learn how to use chopsticks when I moved to Toronto. So I have come to love these flavors, and it took a while, but you get there by slowly building flavors into your dishes. You can start off with a little and then add other things to mask, just in case you're afraid it's going to be overbearing. And then you can just slowly build on top of that. Add a little bit of spice, and eventually you get there. Moroccan food's really cool because it has cinnamon in it, so it's kind of got this sweet taste to balance the spiciness. And I will show you what I have a Moroccan spice. But so Garam Masala is a really good one, Italian. And I don't always buy organic herbs and spices. A lot of nutritionists will tell you to buy them, but I have a million in my house, and I cannot spend. The non-organic stuff is like $6 for one of these. I am not going to be wasting all of my money on organic. The most important thing is, if you're building your own spices, it's better. It doesn't need to be organic. It is better than the latter. So if somebody's telling you organic and that's going to deter you, don't worry. Just don't worry, okay? So you're going to see a lot of Clubhouse in my house. It's just the way it is. So this is Italian seasoning. So it's already pre-blended Italian herbs. Ingredients: marjoram, thyme, rosemary, savory, sage, oregano, basil. I hope I'm saying some of those herbs right. Herbs of Provence is a really good one as well. It's very similar to Italian, but it's got lavender in it. And this one's really good for roasts. Italian's good for like pasta sauces and roasted veggies and stuff like that. This one's really good for roast. We put this on. So if you have downloaded the Healthy Holiday Cookbook, there's a lamb recipe that calls for this. There's a homemade spice recipe, but also you can just buy it as is. Whatever. I mean, this is easier, right? And it's the same thing. So why not there? Those are the ones that I kind of buy, and it depends on my mood. Sometimes I buy a barbecue dry rub. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes but I look at the health food section first and always check the ingredients list, because that's going to tell you whether or not there are preservatives in it, how much sodium's in it, how much sugar's in it, etc. So those are a couple I buy. A couple I make. So if you haven't looked at that article, that's another one to look at. There are 4. And the 4 top ones that I do make, I only have 2 here, and I don't even know what this one is. This is Moroccan spice mix. This is, I stumbled across a Moroccan spice mix a long time ago, and I've modified it a little bit to kind of be more according to how I like it. And that's what you'll see online. But this is so good, and it makes having a healthy stew so easy. So we cut up carrots, potatoes, maybe some chicken or chickpeas if you want to do it vegan, tomato sauce, and then add in like 2 tablespoons of this, and you have a stew that tastes awesome. And it takes 10 minutes to prep, and then you stew it for 20 minutes, however long it takes to generally stew down like carrots, make them soft. And it's so flavorful. Add a dollop of full-fat Greek yogurt, and it's awesome. And it has the cinnamon in it. It has turmeric, cumin. It's got a bunch of really warming. I didn't realize how much time I was taking. Okay, so quickly, that's that. Okay, so this is a fajita mix. We also have a Cajun, which is awesome for like sprinkling on chicken, having like a Cajun chicken breast. So if you're sick of like boring, like you just don't want salt and pepper and oil and lemon on chicken, you want to like spice it up a bit. Cajun spice is really good. Fajita mix is really good. And then barbecue dry rub is my hands down favorite spice mix. I barbecue potatoes, barbecue chicken, barbecue roasted chickpeas. Just, you can barbecue anything, and all you do is sprinkle the dry rub on. If you have that piece of meat, you just kind of rub it into it and then you cook it. Salmon is really awesome for barbecue dry rub. You just rub it on the salmon fillet, sear it a little bit, and then it's good. So sorry that I got cut off. I guess I'm taking too long. Last thing I want to do before I go, and then I'm actually going to go, and I'm going to move this up a little bit so you can see me, is I am making sweet potatoes tomorrow. Olivia and I like to have sweet potatoes for lunch, like on a regular basis. Like twice a week, I make a batch of sweet potato fries. And I don't know why I haven't been doing this lately. I literally just started adding this one ingredient to my sweet potato fries and potatoes, and I didn't even tell Ben. I just started adding it, because if I had told him before adding it, he would have been like, no. So I started adding this, which I'm going to tell you what it is. And it is like taken the level of taste up so many notches. So I'm just going to make a little mix right now. I'm going to show you how I do it. I am not even following any rules. I'm just going to eye it out real quickly, because it's a couple ingredients. It's really, really simple. And then I add it to my roasted veggies, and especially potatoes and sweet potatoes or any root vegetable is awesome. It makes it crispy. It makes them awesome. And it's nutritional yeast. And for those of you who don't know what nutritional yeast is, and I really didn't know what it was until I started studying nutrition and started learning about vegan alternatives and substitutes. Nutritional yeast is deactivated yeast. So it's the same yeast strain that is used for like wines and beer and stuff like that, but it's deactivated, so it doesn't have, if you have yeast sensitivity, nutritional yeast doesn't have the same effect on your body as the other one. So it's basically not live. It has a very cheesy, nutty taste to it. So vegans like to use it in vegan cheeses, or like cheesy sauces and stuff like that. I have just been adding it because I don't want to add cheese to everything. I do eat a little bit of cheese, but I don't want to eat too much of it. But having like a cheesy taste for potatoes and stuff is awesome, right? So I started adding it, and it's so good. And I add so much of it. And I'm just going to make very, very quick, and I'm going to use it tomorrow for our potatoes. If you want me to do a live stream on the potatoes tomorrow, let me know. Pop it in the comments, because I will. So another one that I do is chili powder. Olivia is sensitive if I put too much, so I don't put too much chili powder. I have garlic powder, which I do get the garlic organic, and I think it's Clubhouse does organic packets at Loblaws or Supercenter, and I think it might be 2 for 1. I know it used to be, but I don't know. Dill, for some reason, I just really like dill on roasted veggies, and then salt and pepper. So it was really, really simple. And I literally, okay, I'm gonna have probably 2 sweet potatoes tomorrow. I'm gonna bake. So I literally, like, you're probably gonna laugh, but I would say 1/3 of a cup, maybe more, 1/2 a cup, maybe. Start off with 1/3 of a cup and see how it does. And the next time you bake, you can add more if you really like it. I didn't even bring teaspoons. Okay, literally am just, hopefully I don't add too much garlic. I would say for garlic powder, 1, 2 teaspoons, depends on how much. I'm just trying to do this really slow so it doesn't all come out really fast. Maybe 1 teaspoon, depends on how much garlic you like. And if you like whole chunks of garlic, then press it or mince it before and add that to your veggie mix. But I have a toddler, so it doesn't always happen like that. Chili powder, like I said, I would say maybe 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. If you aren't cooking for a kid and you do like spice, feel free to add as much chili powder as you want. And then dill, 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon there. Just a little bit of salt. Just a dash of salt, and then depending on your preference for pepper, just a dash of pepper, and then you gotta mix it as good as you possibly can. And that's that. Like, how easy is it to make your own spice mixes? So easy. Yeah, so I think that's it. Oh, Carrie, I'm just seeing your comment now. Where do you buy nutritional yeast? Buy it at Bulk Barn. I was buying it organic. I forget where I got organic, and it was fine. But then I found it at Bulk Barn, and for some reason, it tastes like a bajillion times better. So, and then it's also way cheaper. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but if you're only using it for roasting and stuff, or if you're like, you don't need a lot of it, so unless you're me, which you add a lot. But yeah, Bulk Barn. Yeah, so that's that. Let me know, like, pop in the comments if there's anything else I missed or anything else that you want to know more about in regards to making your own spices. And like I said, no problem. Like I said, the article we posted today is in our feed, and it's 4 homemade spice mixtures. So you can check that out. Really, really simple. And all the ones that I talked about today, the Moroccan, Cajun, fajita, and barbecue, are on that post. And of course, I can't end this without talking about the cookbook, which you can download with the other live video that I just had and got cut off. So that link is there. I'll post it here as well. Yeah, so I hope everybody has an amazing weekend, and I hope you learned a little bit about spices and start spicing up your life. All right, good night, guys.